Greetings, fellow humans, and this is Tea with JD. For this occasion, we're actually gonna talk about roses. Sometimes people say that you gotta stop and smell the roses, and this is my equivalent, except that instead of stopping to smell them, I'm actually gonna savor them two ways. First off, through Turkish delight. If you've never had this is like a jelly. I'll show you in a second. Second off, with rose pearl tea. So yeah, it was pretty cool to be at the Poets Passage this past Saturday, and my way of smelling the roses is to say thank you to everyone who came by and everyone who wasn't able to go but still wrote me and supported me. The massive support that I got online, that was pretty cool. I've already posted a couple of pictures. More pictures will be coming. More clips will be coming. Here's the recap. So, I got there early. Everyone was surprised. Everyone in the store was like, "Oh, you're early. Everyone's always late." And I'm like, I'm not the type to be late. I wanted to set up properly and to do my best to share spend an evening with friends. So it was cool. I was actually able to have my wife there, my mom there, my brothers there, my sister-in-law there with my nephews, my parents-in-law, Jaime and Chulka, hi. My brother-in-law, Jaime, bro. I actually had an old friend from the UPR, Lulu, who was able to get there for the last song with her husband and their child. It was really sweet to see them. Madeline and her sister, Glenda, were there. That was awesome. And Fran extraordinaire, Emily, and her dad were there. Actually came from Barceloneta, which is, it's like 15 minutes away, and the weather was crazy. So truly, thank you so much for braving the elements to spend an evening with me. And thank you for Emily, thank you for the poem, and thank you for the picture. It was really lovely. Um, the evening, how it went out. That's how what people are asking me. Um, okay, so I had my set list, literally a set list. Like intro, the first song, then talking about the different things. I actually read 15 poems um, from the 5 books that I have published. From Only Human, which is a novel, there's actually poems strewn throughout. Uh, some of them are told by Neil Shile. There was a selection from Captain Jane, and there was actually a song that Edward Louis plays in one of the chapters. If this is gibberish to you, you should really read the book. Honestly, you're missing out. But no, the thing is that if you've read Tolkien and other things, Sandman, Dune, or whatnot, you'll see some poetry strewn throughout in some way, shape, or form, be it through song or just poetry. And I like including those elements because I do enjoy poetry, and poetry is a very, very important part of my life. I just didn't know how much until time keeps passing. So I sat down. I gave an intro. If you go to an event, this has happened twice, and I've only had 2 book events, and expect many more. So I do hope to drop this part. But I normally start out really antsy and really like jittery, and then I kind of settle into a rhythm when I do either a good performance or something, and I feel like I hit my stride. On this occasion, I hit my stride when I started reading poetry from the poetry collections. The Only Human collection, since they're strewn throughout the chapter, I had to do a lot of going back and forth. So I was a little jittery that I was supposed to get it right, and I wanted to get the meter right and whatnot. And it shows that it's a novel and that I was putting it in a poetry setting. Because when I read Between the Tides, it flowed. Uh, to be able to perform a poem, truly perform it as I visualize it, that's pretty cool. For people to be able to hear and feel what I hear and feel within me. Poems like The Sea and Equals from Captured Moments and Rats in the Dark and Selfie Sophie and various others that I read throughout the night take a whole other light when I read them, I believe. You can ask people who went. But Stumble was a good example where I was able to truly perform it because people read it, and when you read something, you're the one who's in charge of tone, voice, and whatnot. I can do my best as a writer, but in the end, I'm not the one who's gonna tell you how something should sound unless I do the audio version, which is something I'm planning on. So stay tuned. But to be able to perform a poem, it's always nice. It was even nicer on this occasion because the first time I did it was at the event I did at the Bookmark, which was cool. But I think I hadn't really hit my stride in poetry yet. I was starting to push, and as time passes, it's not just that I think I write better. It's just that I become more familiar with the stuff that I write and how it's meant to sound and feel. So I read three entries from all of the 5 books, and yes, the Daydreams do have poems. And they actually, although I do include the Daydreams in full on the blog, every time I publish a book on the Daydreams, they will have extra content. It's my way of saying thank you, first off, for buying a book, and second off, for being able to really experience the Daydreams in another way. Singing in public is I thought it was going to be more nerve-wracking, especially if I made a mistake, and it wasn't that bad. I did get a cramp, though. It's like I'm playing this chord, and I suddenly get the claw, like from Liar Liar. I was like, ah! And I had to stop playing because it was a really bad cramp, and I was like, I can't believe that. And it was the last chord. I can't believe the last chord. I messed it up, and I got a cramp in my head. But it's stuff that happens, and it's that sense of live TV, or that this is an event. That was an interesting experience for me, and I really do hope for everyone who was in attendance. Actually, a couple of people came in and they listened to me for a while. I was there for a long while. I was waffling for a while because I had to cover the 5 books and I have 5 songs. But I also there's no way I'm not going to be cheeky and there's not going to be banter. That's an intrinsic part of who I am. By the way, if you're curious as to what Turkish delight looks like, it is a jelly, and it is delicious, and it is like this. Umami moment. Sorry, I'm back. I just really enjoy that. It's a culinary experience, like something pretty weird, but really cool. Back to the event. It was cool just to chat and to, people have told me that the pictures look like I was very relaxed, and I was very relaxed. At no point was I frightened, and I committed mistakes, and I'm not beating myself up over it. I was talking to a live audience. I was talking to some people say, oh, there was a lot of friends and family, so it shouldn't be nerve-wracking. It's like, these people you're gonna see the rest of your life. So if you botch it, you're gonna live to regret it, in the sense that every time you see that person, you're gonna go, oh, remember the time that I messed up? But no, the reaction was actually very positive. And to be able to give a little storyteller experience of each poem, where it comes from, it was really cool. To be able to change the set list. I actually had a set list planned, and I changed one to read one of the favorites of Emily, who's supported me a lot, and it's the least I can do. They came from Barceloneta. It was just cool to have that relaxed atmosphere, and show that there's a lot of room for improvement, but it's not that bad. The room for improvement is in the music. And today, and this video, is about not beating ourselves up. It's so easy to beat ourselves up. Every day we can commit like the slightest mistake, and then we just constantly wail at each other. And it's okay to make a mistake. Although it's more important to say thank you. Not for the mistake, but for just being appreciative of what you got. And what I got was a wonderful group of people who came to Old-San-Juan on a day where the elements were really. Either I generate a lot of energy, or wow, man, there's a coincidence between me and events, because the first activity there was like a lot of rain, and on this activity there was a lot of rain and a lot of wind. It's Puerto Rico is kooky this past week. I think we're actually colder than New York right now, but that's beside the point. But although I could lament a note that I miss, or silly little things like that, I'd rather say thank you and focus on the good, of which there is a lot. People online have been extremely supportive. People that I know from different aspects of life have been massively supportive. And in one event, I had family and I had friends from different places come together in Old-San-Juan to spend some time with me, and that means a lot. And I will be doing more events, and the idea is to do more of this in different places. Would I love to have critical mass hit so I can do this in different states? Yeah. But the main thing is to dance outside my comfort zone and show that it's fun to do so. And I'd never played live before. Well, yeah, on my wedding. But that was a controlled environment, and I was the groom, so people were gonna cut me some slack. Here I am, in an activity in a public place, and random people just came by, listened to it, and that was cool. And I like that. I like that relaxed atmosphere. I don't think I'm gonna be a singer songwriter, but I do think that the poetry and the writing does hold a lot of merit, and people did confirm that, and that's cool. So stay tuned for clips of me performing different poems, maybe a couple clips of songs, and just let's enjoy the roses. And in my life, I have many roses, which is every person who has supported me. Right now, it smells pretty good. So, thank you so much. Peace, love, Mikey Rolls.